open road. To my left is China and Bhutan. Straight ahead is Myanmar and to my right is Bangladesh. But today, I am going to explore this very piece of land I'm standing on. It's connected to India through a narrow corridor and is home to 7 fascinating states. Quite frankly, with its lush green surroundings, it can give Kerala a run for its money. Welcome to Follow the Star. Today, I am going to explore Northeast India. Now, the whole of Northeast India is probably only 3/4 the size of Maharashtra. But each state here has a varied terrain and different cultures. And today, I'm taking on a road journey across 2 of the 7 sister states, Assam and Meghalaya. My journey begins in Guwahati, the largest city of Assam. From there, I take the road south towards Khanapura and cross over to the neighbouring state of Meghalaya. Driving on National Highway 40, I venture further into the hills, exploring towns like Nongpo and the beautiful lake of Barapani, before concluding my road trip in the state's capital city, Shillong. At first glance, Guwahati might seem like any other Indian city with its bustling traffic and crowded streets. But step back from the main junction and you're bound to enjoy the calming effect that this metropolis has to offer, thanks to the beautiful Brahmaputra that flows through the city. And that's not all. Guwahati is also known as the gateway of Northeast India. In fact, there are several taxis that ply from here to nearby destinations like Shillong, which is where I'm headed in my very own compact tourer, the Mercedes-Benz B180. I've been driving on the Guwahati-Shillong road and I will now get on to the National Highway 37, which is also known as the Assam Trunk Road. I've reached a locality called Khanapara, and this road is the border between Assam and Meghalaya. Now what's interesting here is that most locals get off at this point, cross over to Meghalaya, fill up fuel, buy alcohol and get back to Assam. That's because the prices in Meghalaya are half as cheap. It was quite interesting to see how both states were marked out by a mere road divider. I wish I could hop, skip and jump over to Meghalaya, but decided to stick to my road manners instead and drive on. A few kilometers later, I left Assam behind and entered Meghalaya. All this while, I had been picturing my first view of this state to be a blanket of greenery with beautiful hills on either side. But what lay ahead of me was a heap of concrete pothole roads and many diversion boards. Driving up the Khasi hills of Meghalaya was a real task at hand. The terrain was not mountainous, but it wasn't flat either, which made the roads inconsistent. A 4-lane highway was under construction, but since this part of the country is exposed to continuous rainfall, there were landslides that were being cleared up. This left me with one tiny patch of road to drive on, with vehicles coming in from the opposite direction. So halfway through my journey, I decided to get off at Nongpo, a market town. कितने का है? 50. The Nongpo market had its own set of unique delicacies, which for me was a good break from the road. But it was time to get back as there was a lot more to discover and new experiences to be had. Now the best way to explore a new place is to meet a local and really delve into the culture of that place. And I think I'm in luck today because the local I will be meeting is the very talented Papon. He suggested that we meet at the very famous artificial lake called Barapani, and I can't wait to get there. Just as the roads began to clear out and the view got better, It started to rain, and before I knew it, I was back to the grind. Slow and steady, I made my way up to Barapani. And finally, through the grim and muck, I caught my first glimpse of the stunning lake. Locally known as the Umiam Lake, this reservoir was created by damming the Umiam River. In fact, it was the first hydel project in the whole of Northeast India. I then headed further up to Rekinjai, a resort where I was meeting the hugely talented Papon. With your background in traditional Assamese music and your parents being musicians, how did you branch off into like mainstream and fusion, and you worked with so many different genres and artists? How come you didn't stick to the traditional Assamese music?
See, in childhood I was actually, they call it talim, all the information was given, all the training by my parents. My dad was the legend of folk here, and my mom is an Indian classical vocalist. So all that happened, but I traveled to Delhi because I kind of took music for granted in my childhood, I think. You know, like, you know, at home, ghar ki murgi or whatever, dal bhat.
Yeah.
So ghar mein there was music, so I was like, okay, cool. So I like music, but I'm not very serious about if I'm going to doing that so seriously as a profession. So I went to Delhi. I wanted to become an architect. So
you wanted to become an architect?
Yeah, that's
okay. You never went to Delhi with anything related to your music?
No, no. I went to Delhi for an architecture thing.
Okay.
So I went, and somewhere this didn't happen, or I also chose, like just when I was doing my interviews and everything, that's when maybe I realized, because I was jamming around with people there. So Delhi helped, because Delhi was a very nice spot where, and even in the mountains, I used to travel a lot, McLeodganj and everywhere, so I used to meet the whole world. There was not so much internet then. So we didn't have that kind of exposure in terms of sampling anything from the world, YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
So Delhi, McLeodganj, traveling made me, you know, meet lots of people from the world, musicians and artists, which kind of opened my thing about sound and more styles in music. I thought, okay, then I should definitely put something together, find a different direction, take the route along. My roots are with me always, because that has to. But also come to today's, like, you know, when I was there also, electronica was trying to, you know, starting to happen. So I was like, what is going to be the contemporary today way of enjoying an ancient folk, which I totally love doing.
From my conversation with Papon, I could tell that he was a real traveller and would make for great company on a road trip. So that's exactly what we did. Got into the car and made our way to Shillong, a city that Papon couldn't stop talking about. So Papon, tell me, do you drive to Shillong often?
Now that I live in Bombay, I don't get to, but I generally love driving. I have done a lot of driving to Shillong. These are now nicer, wider roads. It used to be really narrow and winding and stuff before.
But that means you have a favorite highway, I'm guessing, if you like driving?
Any highway, any road in the hills or the mountains is lovely.
And now that we are going to Shillong, I'm going to be there for a day. What would you suggest I must do? Like I should definitely do before I leave the place?
Less time, couple of things. Food, mostly pork. So something about pork and Shillong and Meghalaya.
Where are you taking me now though?
There's a nice place called the Tripura Castle, which has a palace kind of a house which has some 90 odd rooms. I don't know, I'm not very sure.
Wow,
beautiful
lovely.
Place, and very serene, and it's nice, and you can see it. Nice.
As we drove further, the countryside began to gradually disappear as tiny shops and restaurants lined up on either side of the highway. The roads got steeper with every kilometre, and the foggy streets of Shillong rolled out in front of us. The chill in the wind and the thought of exploring the scenic hill station with Papon felt too good to be true. This was turning out to be a great journey. Coming up on Follow the Star, I reach my destination Shillong with the star I am following on this journey, Papon, who shows me around the Tripura Castle and even sings me a tune.
Raat baaki hai.
from Guwahati with my guest and my star Papon, and he's brought me to the Tripura Castle. Shillong, Meghalaya's capital city, was in fact the capital of British-created Assam until 1972. Since then, it has become a rapidly developing town and retains very little of its colonial past. Luckily for me, I was in the company of a special guest who himself was a true blue fan of Shillong. Papon insisted that we visit the Royal Heritage Tripura Castle, his favourite place in town. Interestingly, this castle was built by the former king of Tripura who visited Shillong for his military training. No surprises there, he did end up falling in love with this place and stayed on in this beautiful castle. So we all know that music is the lifeblood of Shillong and the northeast on a whole. But what kind of music do people here actually enjoy? Do they love like one particular kind, or is just music on the whole?
I think music on the whole, because there's a lot of variety here. Because I think they're the Seng Khasis, the Khasi people who have their tribal music, which is ancient. Also, there is the missionaries and everything, so there's lots of gospel choir. Because it's like, you know, lazy mountains and hills and beautiful place. So I think that's why, maybe, I don't know, but there's a lot of blues music. And a lot of northeast also, because Shillong used to be the capital of the zone long time back. So I think that is why maybe there's a good mix of different, you know, music forms from everywhere from the northeast. So,
but apart from the music that they enjoy, even though you bring in your traditional Assamese music into your work, do they still like appreciate the stuff you do? Because you have a lot of fusion and you mix a lot of genres together, right?
I think, I know they do, because I have got this, you know, on social network, you know, media,
a lot
internet,
of fans.
Yeah, fans, and people are like, they're proud about how I'm representing the northeast.
Papon, you've sung so many songs and you've performed at innumerable places. But what has been your most enjoyable experience or performance or collaboration, whatever you want to call it? Do you have a favorite, or everything is special and close to your heart, obviously?
I think college shows are more interesting for me. Recently I went to Scotland to play for Celtic Connections. There's a festival there.
Oh wow!
So where there was a whole non-Indian audience, where I sang Assamese and all these, you know,
and
languages,
they appreciated
and they wanted an encore. They wanted us to come back on stage again.
That's lovely.
So with
that's,
the music
I think that's like your high point, no, when you're performing and they want an encore.
I love that, yeah. So everyone loves that, and so.
So now the golden question: what song are you going to sing for me?
It's difficult to pick a song really for me. Always it's been difficult, but I think it's easy that I'll sing the song you like.
GAQ?
Yes, GAQ.
Oh, lovely.
Na aaye ho, na aoge, na phone pe bulaoge, na shaam ki karari chai labon se यूं पिलाओगे. Na aaye ho, na aoge, na din dhale sataoge.
As Papon took over the evening and strummed his guitar to a soulful tune, I was in awe of the moment. Each one of us has a special place that brings out the artist in us. This was Papon's. Papon had eased me into the culture of Shillong, and I now had the whole of tomorrow to explore more of this lovely town. I couldn't be more excited. Shillong sits at an altitude of over 4,000 feet in the far east of the country. It's a different life here. The sun rises pretty early in the morning, bringing with it a thick blanket of fog. And with the sun up, so are the locals, who can be seen kick-starting the new day with a cup of hot tea to beat the early morning chill. But I decided to give myself a little treat and be a late riser today. And there's nothing like following up a relaxed morning with a nice exotic meal. So here I am at Cafeteria Punji. It's the oldest restaurant in town and it's known for its authentic Khasi cuisine and also a flying saucer. Set amid ancient pine trees and dew-drenched greenery, Cafeteria Punji is a book you don't want to judge just by its cover. Sure, the property is stunning, but what sets it a class apart is its history. This 125-year-old dog bungalow dates back to the British Raj, and its claim to fame is an incident that happened in the 1960s, the incident of a flying saucer. I was here to meet Alan, the owner, who offered to tell me more about this mystery while also introducing me to the world of Khasi cuisine.
There was an Indian Express report on 16th of October 1967. They say that unidentified flying object came here, and basically this is a landing site. So it came here, there was a small creek down there. It stayed there for 2 minutes, and it seems it dried the whole creek for 3 days.
Amongst aliens.
I'm not an alien. But,
but it's so nice to have like Khasi food in a place that has so much history.
Yeah.
So are you going to feed me some Khasi cuisine?
Yeah.
What are you going to feed me?
See, when we started this restaurant, of course we have continental, Chinese, Indian, but we also promote our own local cuisine. We have a traditional setup here. Where
that's nice.
Yeah, we always ensure that if we cook Khasi food, we don't
do it
use
traditionally.
Yeah, we use a firewood.
So the real taste comes out of it.
Please.
Come on. So this is how you cook your food in your authentic style. What is exactly going on here?
And I'm using it's an English pine. We believe that even the wood also has got something to do with taste.
Oh, nice.
Yes. This is she's right now cooking smoked pork with black sesame seed. It's called smoked pork mayo.
It looks yummy.
I'll give you a Khasi platter. It comes with a Khasi rice. It's called jador. Basically pulao, Khasi pulao.
Ah, I can't wait.
Then smoked pork with black sesame seed and something special for you, which I'll show it there.
I am going to have an authentic Khasi meal and something special. I can't wait. Come, let's go. Okay, now this looks really nice. What are we going to eat?
This is a Khasi pulao. This is that amazing preparation which we did out there.
What I saw, that looks really nice after it's done.
Smoked pork and black sesame seed. We've added something special for you. This is again smoked pork but deep fried.
Dry.
This is very famous. And this is
that salad?
This is jamirdo. I could recollect now. It's called fish min and tomatoes.
Nice.
This special item that I promised. This is the famous.
I can see the special item.
This is the mulberry wine. It's locally made in Shillong.
Okay.
And you get it from Shillong only.
That's my special mulberry wine for my meal. I think we should start with that. Cheers.
You're hungry, I think.
I'm very hungry, and this looks really nice. What should I try first? The dry pork?
You can try first this with gravy.
So you can specifically taste the smoked pork, the black pepper. I think that ingredient is the most, I can taste it the most. And the jador, which is the authentic rice pulao that you get in the Khasi style. It just doesn't look colored, but you can really taste like the ginger and the black pepper in it. As I relished every bit of my meal while chatting with the lovely Alan, I felt I was getting to know a lot more about Khasi culture. I realized that on any journey, if you can meet the people and experience the land, then you're getting a good impression of what the country is. And on my road trip from the metro city of Guwahati in Assam all the way to Shillong in Meghalaya, I managed to do just that. While the roads throughout my journey were in a bad condition, my B-class managed to pull through just fine. All in all, from interesting state borders to regal castles and unique cuisine, the Northeast had been a fascinating experience. But the highlight of my journey would have to be the time I spent with Papon. He's as fun-loving as talented. You know, a lot of people think the Northeast to be this one entity, but it's much more than that. It's got so many different cultures, tribes, languages and food. This place has a lot to offer. And if you haven't been here, then you haven't seen a large part of India yet.
नजर की स्याही लिखेंगे तुझे हजारों चिट्ठियां खामोश झिड़कियां तेरे पते पे भेज देंगे हाँ सुन खनखनाती है जिंदगी ले हमें बुलाती है जिंदगी